One of the most fearsome enemies in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the King Gleeok. It drops a whole bunch of rewards and it actually guards quite some good stuff around the game. There's a couple of King Gleeoks out there that guard special places, however, they are by far the hardest of all of the enemies you'll face. They've got the most health and they do a lot of damage, and these are the dragons with the 3 different element heads. So I'm going to show you guys how to beat one in about 30 seconds. Very easily, very straightforward, using all the knowledge we've already gained, but applying it a little differently so we can do 1,000 damage a hit to all of its heads and they won't even have a chance to attack you once. So we're going to be revisiting this, the bone build that we've been using for swords recently, but we're not going to be using it on swords at all. Here we have the armor that we need, which is going to be, you have a choice here, either the evil spirit set, you're going to need the full set so you can get the disguise and bone weapon proficiency bonus, or you're going to need the radiant armor, which is one you can buy in Kakariko Village very early on, but you're going to want to have leveled that set up, the whole set up to 2 stars, so that if you wear this, you can also get the bone weapon proficiency, because that's going to give you a 1.8 multiplier on your damage when you use bone weapons. People often asked in my previous videos about the bone weapons, why are you using a Molduga jaw and so on? Does Silver Lino blade count? No. So Molduga jaw is the strongest weapon you can fuse to a sword, so you can get more than one use out of it, which is a bit of a downgrade from what you should ideally be able to use. The Gibdo bone is way stronger. This gives you 40 fuse attack power. So sadly, it's only a one-hit, one-use item, so if you put it on a weapon, it's gone after the first hit, so that's useless. You can't obviously use that. However, what you can do is use it with bows, alright? Putting it on bows is going to grant you up to, if you set up properly, about 1,000 damage per hit, which is insane. The 1,000 damage per hit is going to be on a fresh 5x shooter bow, so you're not going to be playing around with like low durability or anything like that, where you're only going to be able to get 2 or 3 shots off anyway. None of that junk either, which is stuff we did with the swords. It's completely different. We're going to be able to use a fresh bow that we can just whip out at any time, no prep needed, and just be able to spam arrows at 1,000 damage a hit, which is going to be dirty nasty. If you want to see easily how you can get a whole bunch of 5x shooter bows, I'll leave the video down below in the description. I did just do a video for that 2 days ago or so you can check that out in order to get yourself stocked with 5 shooter bows, alright? Very easy to do. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go and come a little bit prepared. Now, a good way, there's loads of ways you'll do this, and you'll see me do it in the fight, but I'm going to whip out a rocket here and just throw that on the ground. I'm going to fuse that to my shield. All right, that's a good idea. I just used it. Whoopsie daisies. So go ahead and fuse a rocket to your shield, because that's going to give you an extra jump, which you're going to be able to use to just completely nullify any movement moments that he'll be able to have, any chance at attacking you. He will not be able to do it. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what's happening with that. As for the Gibdo bones, you're going to want to maybe have about 20 or so, and obviously enough arrows to fire them, which is about 20 arrows or so as well. Just come well stocked. You have no reason not to come well stocked with these items now that we have a very cool new dupe glitch for 112, which again everyone will be able to use to dupe all the items you need down below in the description if you do not know what I'm talking about. It's absolutely mind-blowingly OP. This is for version 112, so if you need a dupe in 112 to get more Gibdo bones easily, you can totally do that down below in the description. This next part is optional, but it'll allow you to one cycle the King Gleeok, which is insane as well in itself. What you're going to want to do is make a elixir to restore your stamina, okay? So what I'm going to do to make that is I'm going to get a golden apple, just one, and I'm going to use 4 Endura carrots, just like this, cook that up, and that's going to give you 2 wheels of stamina back, which is very good. It will allow you to finish off a 1 cycle on this guy, so I'm going to show you case that as an option. Just FYI, the reason the elixir is optional is it's a more powerful way to do this if you have higher stamina. If you have lower stamina and you're not comfortable with being able to try and 1 cycle them, you can just use the rocket on your shield instead of the elixir, so that is just an option. I'll explain that when we get into the fight. Alright, so here's the stats, guys. This is a 5-shooter bow at 32 damage per arrow. And then when we go ahead and fuse one of the Gibdo bones to it, that's going to give us plus 40 on top of the 32 that we already have. As that stands, that brings us to 72 damage per arrow on my bow. And I do have 5 arrows firing off simultaneously, which brings us to 360 damage per shot. And my armor gives me a 1.8 multiplier to all of my damage, which gives me 648 damage at the moment. The next thing you can do to increase your damage much further is go to any pot and cook up a couple of meals in preparation for this. One will do, actually, and all you'll need is 5 bananas. So let's go ahead and get our 5 mighty bananas. You should be able to have loads of these by now as you play through the game. Cooking these up will give you 3-stage attack up for about 4 minutes or so. Eating that will give you a 1.5 multiplier to our damage. So that's going to bring us to 972 damage per shot. That's just under 1000 damage, and I would like to point out that 32 damage on this bow is by no means the best damage you can get on a 5-shot bow. So keep looking, guys, if you really want to do it. And now we're going to be able to solo this Gleeok very, very quickly. I'm going to ride in style. You guys can ride in and get to it however you like. Alright, so in we go. Now this King Gleeok is located right at the north part of the depths, in the kind of the middle, just north of Korok Forest. And this is a special one because it's very easy to miss, because this entryway is the only entryway. It's very small, and this King Gleeok is also guarding something very nice, a piece of armor you might want to get your hands on. So let's go in here and one cycle his ass. Let's just get absolutely obliterate him here with Gibdo bones. We're just going to get up nice and high. Nice and high. And it doesn't matter if he sees you or you see him or he doesn't see you. Oh, it's all good because we're just going to be jumping off in slow motion fighting him. So he saw me. Perfect. We're going to jump off here, and we're just going to go to town on him with Gibdo bones on our bow in slow motion. So as you can see, we're actually doing alright damage here, folks. If you hit with all 5 arrows on each of his heads, you can see quite a chunk come out. If you make sure you hit all 3 heads at least once with this, he's going to go down hard, and you can see how much damage I'm doing now to him. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I ran out of stamina, which is fine. You do have some time to just pop your glider before you land. However, I messed up there, so I'm just going to pop my glider here or take a couple of hits. It's all good. But now, guys, if you do not have any elixirs, this is what the rocket's for. You just pop a rocket again and get some air time so you can make sure he does not react. He does not have time to come back after you at all. This only takes a couple chunks of your stamina, 4 or 5 hits, and that's him done. I mean, that's the King Gleeok done. Ridiculously easy, guys. There he goes. Yeah, I mean, no, you can do this, of course, to every enemy in the game. Once you've done it to this particular King Gleeok, you'll get your chest with the armor and you get all the goods as usual. Well, that's it, guys. You'll never have to worry about any enemies in the game ever again using this kind of strategy. Now that you have dupes, you have no excuse. The Gibdo bones on your bow are just going to wipe out everything very quickly. 1000 damage a pop, or just under, as you guys know, is a lot. It's crazy. GG. Enjoy taking out the King Gleeoks. I think I've only seen like 2 in the game so far myself, but of course this method is going to work even more effectively against normal Gleeoks. So you guys will be able to take out all the dragons absolutely easy peasy throughout the game. They'll never be a threat to you ever again. Enjoy the method. It's very simple, of course, just adapting things we already know from the bone stats and stuff like that, just applying it a little differently so that we can do a lot of damage in a very short period of time. And you saw that dragon's health just go bye-bye. I'll see you guys around the next video. Have a good one. Bye.